Crafty Toads. Helen is being the camera woman today, so I am in front of the camera, and we are going to be making a pillow with a zipper. Hold on to your hats. It's going to be a piece of cake. Okay, so if you got the Halloween pillow, you are going to have one piece that is your panel. You're going to cut this into two pieces to get two panels for two pillows. You have a ½ yard of your backing material, and you have a ½ yard of the green that you are going to use to surround the panel, like so. You also have two zippers, and that is what you will get in your kit. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to cut your pieces. On your instructions, it tells you what you need. You need to cut your panel out, and it needs to be 8.5 high by 10.5 inches wide. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut around. I started at the top of the tan and then measured 8.5 inches down and cut across, and then I cut 10.5 inches wide, which comes between these two little tan stripes. You're cutting in the middle of those. I am going to be doing mine out of a different fabric. We're going to show you what you can do if you don't have a panel that you're doing. I'm going to be doing mine out of the Stargazer fabric, and what I did was I cut an 8.5 by 10.5 inch of fabric that I'm going to use as my panel. I took a piece that I liked. It had all different kinds of constellations in it. And then what I am going to do is I am going to use some of the gold and some of the green as my accents. So first thing, cut the panel. Then you need two, for each pillow, you need two 3¼ inch by 16 inch and two 4¼ inch by 10.5 inch. And then you are going to need one 16 by 16 inch for the back. When you cut the back, you will have enough left over to cut two strips that will be big enough to go on either end of your zipper. And that is going to make your zipper the right size. So what we're going to do is we're going to start putting this together. We're going to start with the zipper. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my zipper and I'm going to cut it down 2 inches shorter than the size of my pillow. Since my pillow is a 16 by 16 inch pillow, I want to cut my zipper down to a 14 inch. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my zipper into a 14 inch zipper. Since I do not want to cut off anything that actually has the zipper pull on it, I'm going to move this down like so. And then I'm going to measure 14 inches, which will bring me with rapid math to 31. And I am just going to cut, if it's not exact, it's fine. But I'm just going to cut that just like that. Okay. Now.
Oh my God, you cut your zipper.
I know. Do not pull the zipper pull up because you will pull it right off and then you won't be able to get it back on. I know this from experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two pieces that I cut for my zippers. I'm just going to do a thumb press, making a quick seam. I have folded it in half. Okay. I am going to sew one piece on this end, and I am going to sew one piece on this end. Okay. You want to bring it in about 1/2 inch, and you're just going to sew right there. You're going to sew one line there and then come up a little bit further and sew one line there. Remember, when you are doing your sewing, when you do your start, you go back and forward a couple of stitches, and when you end, you go back and forth a couple of stitches so this won't come off, all right? I normally do it that I just go all the way across and then go all the way back so that I have it double stitched going back and forth, and then I do it again up here. Same thing down here. I'm going to do line of stitches here going over and back, and then a line of stitches here going over and back, making sure that I'm catching the zipper on both lines of stitches. Also making sure that the edge of the fabric is just off this metal piece, because you do not want to hit that with your needle. Again, I can tell you from experience that will break your needle. Okay, hold on, I'll be right back. I have sewed on my pieces on either end. If you are at all worried about holding the edges of the zipper together, you think they're going to come apart when you're trying to sew this, you can just pin it like so before you start to sew, and that will keep them together so that they're not flipping apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim the edge so that it is the same width as the zipper. So I just fold it in half like that. Line up my scissors with the edge of the zipper and cut. Line up and cut. And you can see I've got two strips that are now holding this end and the zipper together. So there we go. My zipper now has its ends sewed on. We're going to put this aside until we're ready to sew the pillow together, all the pieces. Okay. Actually, we're going to put this aside till we're ready to sew the front and the back together. All right, so now we're going to put together the panel. So what we're going to do is you're going to sew, you have two 4 1/4 by 10 1/2 inch pieces of green for each of your pillows. You're going to sew one to the top and one to the bottom. It should line up perfectly because this is 10 1/2 inches wide, this is 10 1/2 inches wide, so you should be able to line them up and sew them together. I'm going to show you on mine. Here's my 8 1/2 by 10 1/2. I'm going to take one on the top and one on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them right sides together, like so. Sew a 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to put this like so. Sew a 1/4 inch seam. When you're done sewing your 1/4 inch seam on each of the pieces, then you're going to iron it. Remember, every time you iron it, you set the stitches, make them more secure. What I am going to do is I'm going to iron the seams towards the border part, the gold part, so that when I do it, the white will be folded towards the golden part. I'll show you when I'm done. All right, so I have sewn my pieces together, okay? And when I said that I was going to iron my seams towards the gold, this is what it looks like. The easiest way to do this is just start with your iron on the white and just iron over, and it just automatically presses the seams towards the gold. So we're pressing them that way. Okay, so top and bottom of my panel are now done. I'm going to now add the sides. I have two pieces that are 3 1/4 by 16 that I am going to now sew onto the side. So I'm just going to fold them over like this, line them up with the edge, and sew straight up. 1/4 inch seam. Going to sew straight up. You're using a 1/4 inch seam unless otherwise specified. Okay, so 1/4 inch seam, and then again I'm going to iron my seams towards the gold. So I'm going to start on the white and iron them going towards the gold borders. Okay, be right back. Okay, so I'm just going to iron, starting in the middle and working my way out. See how it automatically just irons those seams down. Ideally, right here, this would be going the other way, so it would look more like this one over here. However, it's not going to cause a problem, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, we are now ready to put the zipper in. Are you ready? Breathe. It's okay. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the foot. This is a regular foot. It's got a 1/4 inch marker here, but this is your zipper foot. It looks like that. It looks like one of the feet from one of the troopers in Star Wars. That's what I always think. Anyway, this is very thin so that it can travel along the side of the zipper teeth and still catch the fabric, because that's what we need to do. All right, so for my machine, there's a screw right here that I just loosen a little bit, take off the foot, put my zipper foot on, and tighten up the screw again. Sorry, I'm blocking all this. It's just tightening the screw. But I'm not left-handed, so I need help. Okay.
We have a yarn for that.
I'm sorry?
So we have a yarn for that?
We have a yarn for zipper foot?
No, I'm not left-handed.
Oh, I'm not left-handed.
It's not funny if I have to explain it.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Okay, so I am taking the front of my pillow and my zipper that has my edging on it, okay? And I'm going to line this up with the zipper teeth facing the top of the pillow, like so. Centering it as best I can. If you want to truly center it, you can fold the zipper in half and put a pin here, fold the fabric in half, put a pin in the middle, and then line up the pins if you need to be exact. I am very good with just, you know, I'm perfectly happy just eyeballing it. So I'm going to line it up like that. I'm going to put a few clips in to hold my zipper in place. Okay, making sure my zipper pull is folded back like that, so it's not going to get in the way. I'm now going to sew along the zipper teeth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the edge of my foot with the zipper teeth. You can feel them through the fabric. If you put your finger along the edge of the zipper, you will be able to feel where the teeth are, and you want to line this up as close to the edge of the teeth as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line them up here, make sure that I have them lined up properly, okay? Then I'm going to lift my foot and pull this back to the beginning, and I'm ready to sew. So what I'm going to do is, remember, go back and forth a couple of times to set it, and then I'm going to come along, and the edge of my zipper foot is right up against the edge of the feet, making sure that my fabric is lined up with the edge of the zipper. Just going to sew straight down like so. When I get to a clip, I just move it out of the way, lining up the fabric. As I get towards the zipper, since my foot is small enough, I should be able to go right by it without worrying about it at all. Continuing down. Just like so, until I get to the end. Go back and forth a couple of times to make sure that I get my stitches, and then cut your thread. And then when you're done, it will look like this. Your pieces for your zippers are much longer than the top of your pillow. That's okay, we're going to trim them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch right along, okay? You can close that up now. So what you're going to do is you are going to come lining the edge of your zipper foot with the edge of the fabric. You are just going to sew straight along, doing your top stitch, which gives it a nice, neat look. What it also does on the back is catches the edge of the zipper fabric again. So this will not be flapping all over the place. This is all now sewn in very neatly. Now you can trim the edges of your zippers like that, because you only need them as far as the fabric. Just like that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the back And we're gonna line it up, the edge of your fabric,
Right side.
right sides together, okay? Just like we did before. We're gonna clip it a couple of times. And we're gonna line up your zipper foot. Okay, now, if your zipper is getting in the way, what you can do is you just move it down out of the way, like so, okay? I'm gonna line up my zipper foot and I'm gonna start sewing. When I get close to where the zipper is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the needle down in the fabric. I'm going to pull the zipper, because I can put my hand inside between the fabrics. I'm going to pull my zipper all the way away on the other side of the foot. If for some reason you can't get the zipper past your foot, just lift your foot up and then you should be able to maneuver it past. Just make sure that the needle is down in the fabric when you do that so that you know exactly where you are. Okay, so then you just keep going straight down. My zipper is lined up, or my zipper foot is lined up with the edge of the zipper. I can feel it against the edge of the zipper feet, coming straight down. Making sure that everything's straight and where it should be. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to again top stitch it. If I were doing this for anybody other than me, I would make sure that I was changing the thread so that it matched the fabric, but since it's for me, I don't care. Oh, I'm doing this so you can see the stitches. Okay, so I'm lining up the edge of my zipper foot with the edge of the green fabric, and I'm just going to sew down. I kind of pull the fabric taut between my hands as I feed it through so that I'm not going to get any wrinkles or divots or anything like that. I'm just kind of, I'm not doing it very hard. I'm just giving it a little bit of tautness, coming straight down, just like so. Okay. And look at that. You have a zipper that you can open and close. You have the pieces on either side that make it look very neat and professional, and also allow you to open it and close it with no problems. So now what you're going to do is you're going to change your zipper foot back to the regular foot, and then you are going to take your pillow, make sure you open the zipper part way, okay, because otherwise you'll sew it all together. And you are going to sew up one side, across the top, down the other side, sewing up the three sides of your fabric. I'll show you what we do when we're done. All right, what I tend to do is I tend to sew up one side, then sew up the other side, and then sew across the top, because I find that that lines up the top very nicely. So what I do is I just fold the zipper in half like this, line up my corners, sew right up. Do it on the other side as well. So I'm just going to clip my corners very quickly, just like that. The only reason you do this is because it reduces the amount of bulk that are at the corners when you are turning it right side out. It is not something that is necessary to be done. It just makes it a little bit neater, that's all. So see, I just cut a little bit of the corner off. All right, so now I'm going to open my zipper all the way, because I have left an opening so that I can get my hand in there. I'm going to open the zipper all the way, and I'm going to turn it right side out. I'm going to use my finger in each of the corners and just push it through like so, and it does a very nice job of pushing out the corner. Okay, so each corner I just lined my finger up on the corner like so, push it out. There you go. Look at that beautiful pillowcase. Clippity threads. And then you can put a pillow in it. I have a pillow right over here. Okay, so the zipper is going to be a little bit smaller than the pillow, so you're going to have to work it in. You just fluff it together, push it together, and it will go in. But look at that. You now have a beautiful Halloween pillow that you are done with a zipper in it. And while I was doing the ones with the Stargazer, they come out looking like this. So there you go. Pillows. Done with zippers.